Hello and welcome. I am doing a series of YouTube videos about the road trip that we went on with our family of 5 from Salt Lake City, Utah to Orlando, Florida over the Christmas break of 2019 in our 2015 Tesla Model S. If you are interested in seeing the prior videos to today, then just click right here on this link that I'll have pop up and that'll start you at the playlist at the beginning. In today's video, we are on the 4th day of travel, and we're starting in the Mobile, Alabama area. We stopped by the USS Alabama, which is a battleship memorial park there with lots of airplanes and museum and a submarine. And then we continue on our journey and we arrive at our destination near Orlando, Florida. So let's get started. All right, so we're starting day 4 now of our trip to Orlando. Hey Clara, did you sleep well last night? Yeah. Hey Lucy and Lydia, did you sleep well last night? Clara, do you like your breakfast? Yeah. Lydia, do you like your breakfast? Lucy, do you like your breakfast?
Mommy.
Go.
I won. Me too.
That one, yes. Good job. Here's all of our stuff loaded up onto the cart.
Hello.
That morning I had turned on the charger here at 7:17 a.m. to go from 90% to 100%. And you might see over here that it took nearly an hour and a half to do so, and the reason for that is that the battery was cold. It had been sitting all night. You can see the average amperage over here was 28 amps. I wasn't actually concerned about getting full. If we had been in a hurry, I would have just left. But I actually was doing this to warm up the battery so that when we left, the regen braking wouldn't be as limited. We're back in the car, and we are heading to the USS Alabama Battleship monument. So where we stayed is just over here, and so it's really a short, like 15-minute drive up here to that battleship. So we'll check it out, and then we will continue on our way. And the roads are pretty empty. Say that again, Lucy?
I can't wait for the battleship. I wonder what it's gonna look like.
Yeah. We're gonna probably go inside it.
Do you want some hairspray, camera? Spray.
How's the drive this morning?
Awesome.
Do you want some hairspray?
Everyday driving in a Tesla is awesome, right? Is that the right answer?
Going through a tunnel. Is that crazy, girls? We're underwater.
Did you know some tunnels go underwater? Do you see the
look.
battleship? We got an airplane here. You see the airplane?
Yeah.
And then you
Oh,
see
there's
the
the
battleship
battleship.
over there?
What battleship?
It's kind of out my window.
Is that a jet?
It is.
Airplane?
Yeah. Ship.
This is the jet. We're passing it right now. This is the jet. That is the battleship. Isn't that
Good part.
huge, Lydia?
Middle? We're gonna walk
That
around the
battleship is huge. It's huge, right,
Find a place to go walk around.
You see the battleship, Clara?
Humongous.
Should we go see if we can walk on it?
Yes. We can. Look, those people are. We can walk on it.
All right, let's go in.
I can't wait. Can I bring my lipstick?
Nope.
Okay.
Looking at the Teslafy data for that segment of driving, we drove from our hotel over to the memorial here. That was a 19-minute drive, almost 14 miles, 71.6% efficiency. All right, we've arrived at the USS Alabama. You can see it here behind me, and we're heading in to go tour it.
Okay, let's go then. Clara, come on.
Are you so excited, girls?
Yeah.
You-
We're on the battleship.
You're on the.
We are almost.
We are almost on the battleship. You're right.
The one on the battleship.
What? What did you? We're on the water. Lucy, what are those big things behind you? No, up there.
I don't know.
Those are guns,
Gun?
like big cannons.
We are. Whoa! We're on the water. Yes, we are. We're on the water.
Girls, what is this water? It's the Gulf of Mexico.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go see more.
This chain goes all the way out here, and then it goes into the water and holds the anchor at the bottom of the water. People would just stand here and go,
I can hang on there.
yeah.
All right, we're here at the bow of the ship. You can see all of it in its grandeur behind me. Kids are loving exploring, and now we're going to go into the inside.
Is that a funny face on the airplane? Yeah. No, we're gonna go.
Oh, hey, Lucy. Do you know what you are? You're a soldier.
Do you see how that bed has bars on it so they wouldn't roll out when the ship was moving?
That's creepy. Yeah.
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 Yeah, so they can wash their hands or their face. This one has 2 beds in it.
And that's creepy.
And a captain.
And it's creepy. Pee.
This is not creepy.
Yes, it is.
Oh, those are steep stairs. Are you having fun, Clara? Yeah.
More bunk beds in here?
Girls, are you in bed?
Yeah.
On a battleship?
Yeah.
Is this so cool?
Yeah.
Girls, you're all on the top bunk.
Okay. I'm doing it now.
Hey girls, where are we going next?
To the submarine.
Yeah, let's go.
Come on.
This thing, Mom?
That's
A long airplane.
Lucy. This was the captain's room. See how it only has 1 bed? So he got a room all to himself.
I can do it all by myself.
You like
See?
this little door, Lucy? Sorry.
Come on. Oh. I was like, this is glass. But it's not glass. I don't need help.
Look at all this stuff.
I'll go up there.
Okay, you gotta wait your turn.
Wow. Okey-dokey. There's tons of things in here.
Lots of buttons and switches and knobs. You love it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the girls are going to take a nap on the submarine.
Lay down real quick. That is silly.
Those are the torpedo chutes. And there is a torpedo. What did you think of the submarine?
Well,
Cool.
Did you like the submarine or the battleship better?
the battles, the submarine better.
You like the submarine better? Yeah, you were a little freaked out on the battleship.
I don't know why
The
she wouldn't be
submarine.
more freaked out on the cramped submarine.
On that ladder.
All right, we're heading to Florida now. Florida or bust this evening.
We're coming, Florida.
When we left the Battleship park, we just moved briefly in the parking lot and had to take care of something with the children, and the same thing here. So these two segments you can ignore. This down here was the actual drive where we drove from the Battleship to Defuniak Springs to the supercharger there. That was an hour and 39 minutes, 125 miles, and 75% efficiency. Hey Lydia, where are we?
Are we in Florida?
We are in Florida.
Oh, what are we gonna go look at?
We're at Defuniak Springs.
Defuniak Springs, and here is the spring, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, look.
It's built by
That duck is not shy.
Yeah, let me get you a wipe real quick, okay? Think that's
Quack,
okay to feed?
quack, quack, quack,
Think sugar is bad for ducks?
quack, 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 quack.
As an update, you can see here on my phone, if it'll adjust, the car is over there, and we are over here where that blue dot is, and the red arrow there on the left, that's where the car is. So we had to wander a ways away. We were able to find some restrooms here near at Chipley Park is where we are, but everywhere else was closed, so this was all we were able to find. Looks like we've got 15 minutes left. When we got here it was saying 35 minutes, so we're gonna wander around this park just a little bit more and then just get back on the road. Here's a bunch of Canadian geese.
Mom, what does this say?
Gracie and Bella.
Gracie and... Slow down, Dad.
But then you'll get me.
Oh, look at that. Go faster. Go faster, go faster. You're gonna lose. Go faster. No. It's so tiring.
We're running to get back to the supercharger in time. We're having too much fun. Alright, we can take a rest.
Yeah.
Let's sit on this bench over here.
Let me go in the shade somewhere. It's so hot today.
It's so hot.
So hot. I get hot, I get itchy.
The Tesla Fi data for Defuniak Springs, we were there for 58 minutes total. We started at 25% battery, ended at 86% battery. And you can see the other information along here. It had originally estimated that we would need to be there for 40 minutes, so we definitely stayed there longer than we needed to be, but it was a fun place to hang out and play with the ducks, so I'm not complaining. For that segment of drive from Defuniak Springs to Tallahassee, Florida, we drove for an hour and 37 minutes, 122 miles, and we drove at 73.7% efficiency. Lucy, what did they give you?
They gave us pizza dough.
Pizza dough, just to play with?
Yeah, that's okay.
What are you doing? What are you gonna make, Lydia?
We are making pizza all by ourselves. Alright, they just gave it to us.
So the car has about 25 minutes left, and we just ordered our pizza. So this is going to be another situation where we're hopeful that we can finish eating before the car is charged and ready to go. Oh, now it's down to 20 minutes remaining. Alright, Village Pizza and Pasta is where we ate dinner. Lucy is just still finishing up her last bite. The car finished charging just a couple of minutes ago. Well, finished charging enough to get to the next supercharger. It's not full yet, but to be able to continue in the optimal speed range of charging versus driving, we're getting back out there on the road.
Where's our car?
We're going to be stopping next in Gainesville, Florida, and that will be our last charging stop, and then we will be all the way to Orlando to our destination at that point. And we've called ahead, and they have a NEMA 1450 50 amp outlet we're going to charge with there for the couple of days while we're staying with them. How was the pizza, Lucy? Great. Oh, Lydia, you're so speedy.
Then turn this way.
Like a Pegasus.
Oh, look at that little Pegasus.
Wait.
Hey, fly to the car, little Pegasuses.
Incidentally, this location in Tallahassee, Florida has some Electrify America chargers over there, which this is the first time I've ever seen those in person. This is the door handle on the back door here, and it's Lucy's princess pocket. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's their little house they sleep in. They're sleeping over day and night.
Yeah. At that supercharger stop in Tallahassee, Florida, we were originally supposed to only be there for 50 minutes, but we were eating dinner, and so we stayed a little bit longer for an hour and 1 minute, and we went from 24 to 87% battery state of charge. Hey girls, what are you doing?
We're coloring.
Yeah?
These awesome books.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and then because they're new books from our grew ones, because our grew ones didn't work very good.
Yeah.
So we got new ones like our grew ones.
Wow.
Except it's a fairy one and a sea one, and it's a fairy one and princess one.
That's great.
Look what I said, princess one.
Do you like yours, Clara?
Yeah, it's nice. And she has a sea.
metropolis, and we're heading down here to Gainesville. So it's estimating 2 hours and 8 minutes. And this is the energy graph estimated at this point. We left at 10%, so it's dropping a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I got all the way to this page.
Great. Can you show it to me? Oh, that's so pretty.
And it's an I Spy book too.
Oh.
I spy something green. Must
Fun.
be clover.
What about yours, Lydia?
I spy something.
Oh.
This, all of the pages are mixed.
Okay.
And my book has a unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that segment of drive from Tallahassee to Gainesville, Florida, we drove for exactly 2 hours, and that was 148 miles and 74% efficiency, or 403 watt-hours per mile. We're now charging at the Gainesville, Florida charger, and it has half an hour to go. The kids are stretching their legs. I don't know what Lucy's doing.
Just picking up sparkles.
Oh, the parking lot is sparkly. So the last leg of the trip was pretty uneventful, which is good. We had left with an estimated 10% arrival charge, and we got here with 9%, so pretty much what I would expect. And weather's been really ideal this whole trip, actually, and so that's great. And after this charging stop, we will be getting to our destination in Orlando, Florida. What did you find, girls?
A pouch.
Oh.
In.
It's for wishing.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
got my coin.
We're almost done charging. We have about 5 minutes left. The girls have their pajamas on.
I'm going to Auntie Kate's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our last stop before we get to our destination. Here at the Gainesville, Florida supercharger, there are 2 different sessions listed here because it charged for 15 minutes and then cut out and then started again. So that's the 15 and 25-minute segments here. We were there for a total of 40 minutes. And if you look at the original estimate over here, it had estimated half an hour. So we were there for a little bit longer than it had originally anticipated that we would need to be there for. And we started at 11% battery and we ended at 66% battery. The segment of driving from Gainesville to our destination in Florida was a total of 1 hour and 49 minutes, 109 miles, and we drove at 80% efficiency, or 373 watt-hours per mile. All right, we're here. We've made it. We are in the Orlando area at my a relative's house that we're staying at. We got here at about 11 p.m. And so it was another kind of a late night, but that was because we had spent so much time earlier at the USS Alabama this morning touring that, and I think that was totally worth it. The girls all fell asleep in the back, and so we just got here and got their beds ready and then carried them to bed. I would say now, after having gone through these 4 days from Utah to Florida, that the time estimates on the Better Route Planner are off by a cumulative about an hour over the course of a long, like 12-hour day. I'm not totally sure where the inefficiencies are, but I think it may have something to do with on a Better Route Planner you can configure it to say how much time it will take you to plug in, and it defaults to 5 minutes, and I thought I only want that to be 1 minute. It doesn't take me that long to plug in, but maybe it's not really fully adequately compensating for how much time it takes to get off the freeway and drive through city streets to get to the supercharger or something. Some of the superchargers are kind of off the beaten path a bit, so maybe that's where it comes from. Or maybe it was just simply because a lot of times the car was ready to go, but it was hard to wrangle the kids back into their car seats, and so the car charged a little bit more than it needed to, so we weren't staying as much in the optimal charge rate. But for whatever it's worth, in my experience now, having gone through these 4 days, usually we think we're going to get there by 10, and we end up getting there at 11 or something like that. Just kind of the day gets a little bit away from you, just death by 1,000 cuts or something. I don't know. In any case, we're here, and it was a good day. We were happy to be able to have some fun this morning. We'll be able to do something a little bit more with the day than just drive like the first 2 days were. When we got here to my relative's house, we pulled their stove out, which their kitchen is right off of the garage. And I had called ahead and scoped out, and I knew what I was dealing with. Otherwise, we would have just gone to a supercharger. But they were perfectly fine with us plugging in here. But we pulled their stove out, and they have a NEMA 1450 outlet. And because I have the adapter for that with my Tesla mobile charger, I knew I'd be able to plug into that. And then also, because we have our extension cord, I actually went ahead, even though I didn't need to, I plugged it in with the extension cord so that we can leave the stove pushed against the wall for the couple of days that we're here. And then whenever we need to use the stove, we'll be able to just unplug from the end of the extension cord and plug the stove into that. And so that it's more convenient rather than having to pull the stove in and out, because the outlet obviously is down on the floor against the wall behind the stove. So we'll be here for around 4 days, and we probably won't need to charge the car every day. It just depends on if we go somewhere that day and use up some charge and need to get topped back up. So I'll show you here now. This is the charge rate that we are getting. So you can see it's 8 kilowatts. Now I believe it's supposed to be a 50 amp circuit. So I would have had this charging at 40 amps. But when I checked the circuit breaker panel, which I recommend everybody always do that, the circuit breaker was 40. So I lowered the amperage here, as you can see, down to 32 amps, so that's 80% of the 40 amp circuit that it's actually plugged into. We're getting healthy voltage over here. You can see 242 volts, 243. That's really good. So that's getting us 8 kilowatts. If we want to see what that is in miles per hour on this Model S, we can go up here to the display option. And I really wish they would just show me both miles per hour and kilowatts simultaneously, but they don't. So I have to switch this over here. Oops, I didn't mean to click that distance here. And now we can see the charge rate is 24 miles per hour. And so it's estimating 7 hours remaining, which will be in the morning, and no problem. They'll be right when we're waking up, probably, actually. While we're in this menu, I wanted to show you the trips information now that we've arrived at our destination. So going here into trips, you can see here on this Orlando line that we've gone a total of 2,478.1 miles. 867.3 kilowatt hours were consumed, and then 350 watt hours per mile. And so gives you an idea. Oh, and also the speed of travel throughout all of that was really pretty much 80 miles per hour almost the entire way, other than when we had to slow down going through cities and whatnot. But the highway travel was all at maximum 80. So I wanted to show you now what it looks like outside of the car. We're in this garage. There's kind of some stuff here next to the car. And I could have had this in the driveway because I've got the extension cord, but they were fine with us parking in the garage. So we have here the plug-in to the car, and then there's the extension cord. And then here is where it's going down behind the stove to the receptacle. And that right there is the stove's plug that we'll switch to when we need to use the stove. Looking at the charge information there at my relative's house, it charged for just over 8 hours, started at 12%, ended at 90% battery state of charge. And we ended up adding a total of 58 kilowatt hours to the battery. Now, because there's some charge inefficiencies, it actually consumed 63 kilowatt hours from their house, which if you pay 10 cents per kilowatt hour, that would be $6.33 for that energy that we used. Looking at the overall stats for the day, there's some information here relating to the HVAC system and how much power it used throughout the day. And then we have the total miles driven is 524, rated miles 696, and that means a 75% efficiency for the whole day. We drove for a total of 7.5 hours, used up 208 kilowatt hours, which is 397 watt hours per mile for the day, and the average temperature was 66 degrees. We stopped at 4 superchargers and added 137 kilowatt hours throughout the day, and that is 462, almost 63 rated miles added, and that was 2 hours and 39 minutes of charging. We added 65 kilowatt hours from the charging that we did at the hotel and at home at the relative's house, and that is 229 rated miles, and that's 9 hours and 37 minutes of charging on lower speed charging, obviously not superchargers in that case. I hope that was informative for you to see what our 4th day was like, and now you have seen the entire journey from Utah all the way out to Florida. I hope that was informative to see the Tesla Fi data, as well as how my kids handled it, and your mileage may vary depending on your family and what that's like. I'm going to make another couple of videos about our activities around Florida, and then our road trip home, where we take a southern route through Texas and out to Phoenix, Arizona, and then back home. If you are interested in seeing any of these other videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon and change it to all, and you will make sure to get notified each time I post one. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.